So welcome to Math 95 120 CX. I am your instructor. My name is Adam Kepke. I have been teaching math at UNLV. This is my 8th year teaching at UNLV. That's the other thing. I have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. So any given time you may hear somebody come in and want to, say hello. Just bear with me. They're sweet and wonderful. They're allowed to say hello. I don't mind whatsoever. So, um, some things to know about this class. We will not meet remotely every day. I have a plan to record all the lectures and post them onto Web Campus or Canvas for your viewing pleasure. So it's kind of self-paced in that regard. I am available. I'll have office hours probably on Friday afternoons and Monday mornings by appointment. And then, of course, during class time, if you have emails and stuff, you just let me know. Let's see, some things about me really quick. Like I said, I have a 2-year-old who just came in. That's why I got distracted. And I've been teaching at UNLV. Again, this is going on my 8th year there. And then I also taught 2 years as grad student. So I've been teaching there at the university for quite some time. I'm a Vegas native. Go Knights. I loved the 5-0 victory last night. I was born and raised here. And in addition to being born and raised here, I went to school, all my schooling here pretty much. I did a few years in Arizona, but I got my bachelor's degree in math here at UNLV. And I got my master's degree in math with an emphasis in education at UNLV also. And I am a 3rd-year PhD student right now. So just like you, I am a student also. So that's one thing I think I have in my advantage is I am a good resource in that regard if you have questions about being a student, and also I can relate because I'm there too. So in addition to teaching my course load, I'm also taking classes too towards my PhD. So just quickly about me. I look forward to learning a little bit more about you guys as the semester goes on through, interviews and meeting you one-on-one and maybe some group work too. And of course, grading all your stuff. You learn a lot about people grading things. So I look forward to learning about you. But at any time, you can always just shoot me an email and just say, hey, this is about me. That would be fine. So some things about the class. That's, of course, why you're up at this early in the morning, or if you're watching this video, this is why you are listening to me talk randomly. The class is a 5-credit course. You have co-enrollment in both Math 95 and Math 120. So even though it says on your schedule, oh, this is a Math 95 day or this is a Math 120 day, that's not necessarily how it works at all. It's all lumped together into one class. The point of doing it in the dual enrollment is that I'm teaching you all of the 95 stuff and all of the Math 120 stuff. So you're all here because one reason or another, something showed the university that you needed some extra work in your remediation, in your prep. So you were to take one class basically before you're able to take your class that counts for credit. The good news is we're running a pilot program right now where you're able to take both those classes at once. So instead of taking Math 95 in the fall and then waiting and taking Math 120 in the spring and not finishing your math requirement for a whole year, you're actually able to do it in one semester. So that's the cool thing. The drawback to that is that it's a 5-credit class. So there's a lot to do. I'll tell you right now, the commitment to this class in terms of your work is going to be significant, I imagine. I can't necessarily scale it on other classes because this whole remote thing is just so weird. I feel like some classes are going to be like unusually easy and some classes are going to be unusually hard. So I'm doing my best to make sure that this class is as much like it was face-to-face as possible in terms of the course load and being able to contact me and all that kind of stuff. So it's a 5-credit class, but just know that you will have, regular homework in this class online. We'll have many projects that you'll be working on. You'll be required to watch lectures and answer questions about those lectures, both before the lecture and after. So I'll go into all of that stuff here in just a little bit. I'll share my screen with you in just a minute also, so I can show you kind of what the layout looks like in Web Campus, and also show you the syllabus and the course schedule before I send you on your way. I know I put the Zoom meeting in for an hour, but frankly, I doubt it's going to run the whole time. So some things to know. So the math class was built. Again, it's a pilot right now. I don't know if your advisor even mentioned to you that it's a pilot or what that means when you sign up for a pilot, but the most important thing is it's not a perfect thing yet. It's still in the works. So we just started building this class. This is only my second semester running the class, but I learned a lot the first semester. And I built Math 95. Well, let me take that back. Sorry. 5 years ago, I worked with the math department to build Math 120. The class was terrible. People were failing at a really high rate. It wasn't serving the purpose for the students. So I sat together with the undergraduate coordinator for a summer and basically rebuilt the course to make it more interesting, more relevant, more interactive. So in that process, we redesigned Math 120, and the results have been really, really good. The students like the class. Pass rate has gone up significantly. Obviously, those are the things that matter the most. And you're learning stuff that's way more important than just some random math. And then I went back after I built 120, and I built the class that comes before Math 120, Math 95, and basically rebuilt that to say, this is just a review of everything that you need to know to be successful in the next class. And so once those two classes were built, we had a good system for students that are going into your majors, which are all the non-science majors. You guys are all in majors that are not going to, require a great deal of mathematics in the outside world. That doesn't mean that you're not going to need real life mathematics there, just maybe not in the degree that you're pursuing. So this opportunity came up that we would take these two classes, fuse them together, make a 5-credit experience for you guys so you can just knock it out in one semester. And I've basically been spearheading that now this is actually the 3rd semester we're teaching it. And it's growing. So there's more teachers that are trying it now this semester, and they're all going to be trying their new things too. We're all teaching out of the same book. We're all teaching the same exams, but it's just a little different in terms of the layout and how teachers are organizing their material and all that. So that's kind of the course, just a brief where it came from. And now I'll go over the syllabus with you, and then I'll show you the course schedule and, of course, answer any questions that you have. So let me swap out my screen. Stop recording. Share screen. Okay, so there we go. So really quickly, this is the course, Math 120 CX. Dashboard. Oh, sorry, I'm in the student view. Hold on, sorry. Technical difficulties. All right, so when you log into Canvas, you'll see something like this. You probably won't see all these classes. I have a ton of them because I'm just teaching a bunch of stuff. Random things on here. These are all different sites that I'm going to see while we're in class this semester. So the cool thing about remote learning is I can travel and remote teach. So I'm going to try to go visit Arches. You guys are Arches. And Bryce Canyon, that's the other class. And I'm not sure what this, it's Zion. That's Zion over there. Go visit some parks in Utah here. So anyways, all of the material in this course is going to be in the, I should go back before I do that. All the material in this course is going to be in the Math 120 folder. That's why I put the cool picture of Arches here and left the 95CX one blank. The 95CX, which you have a card for as well, will only house your grade for Math 95. That's the only thing that I'm going to put in there. I may actually take that back. I may put some like study skills, test taking strategies, like non-content related stuff in Math 95 CX. But if it's stuff that's important, learning stuff, it's all going to go in one class so that it doesn't make it too confusing, okay? So all your stuff in here is going to go in Math 120 CX. So This is what it looks like right now in your Math 120 CX. In all of your information will be able to be navigated through modules. It's what opens up when you first log in anyways, but in case you want to navigate through over here on the sidebar, on the left here, you can see modules. You can just click on that anytime to get back to this page. This page in the beginning, it just has the course introduction right now. So here's our syllabus, a cool little survey that you're going to take, and a bunch of information for you guys to look at over the first week. Okay, some autobiography and some other information for you guys to do. Okay, we'll talk about some of this stuff now. This first week is really going to be a lot about just getting used to navigating through the sites, feeling comfortable submitting work to me and reading through the information that I'm going to give you. So it's not going to be a lot of content this first week, okay? I just kind of want to get you guys used to logging in regularly and knowing what you need to do for the class. Of course, answering questions and doing all that stuff, getting your material, etc. So here's a syllabus. Syllabus obviously has all of your, for those of you who are freshmen, and welcome to UNLV, I should have said that in the very beginning. It's probably the first class that you're even seeing. So those of you who are all freshmen, welcome. This is not the way I expect this university to start for you guys, and the university probably didn't expect this either. So just bear with us all, bear with me and all of your other instructors. This is not how we normally teach, but we're gonna do our best to make it as enriching of an experience as possible for you. Here's your syllabus. Your syllabus has all of your important information for the semester. Okay, this is like your kind of like your contract with your instructor to give you all of what's expected of you. Okay, in every course, you need to look through the syllabus on the first day, make sure that you know what is to be done, and if there's anything that you don't understand in the syllabus, you reach out to your instructor, ask them. Okay, so here's my syllabus. It has all the information for this class. Here is our section. Of course, when we're supposed to meet Monday through Friday, or sorry, Monday and Friday from 7 to 7:50, Tuesday, Thursday from 7 to 8:15. Like I said, this class is going to be remote learning. So that is completely up to you when you want to do this stuff, but I will be available during these times. And of course, like I said, from 7 to 8:30, Friday by appointment too, okay? If you want to meet with me on other days, just let me know. I'm probably still available. These are days that I'm committing to them. So, like I said, this class is covering 5 credits. It covers all this important stuff that you're going to need, stuff that you've probably seen before in some aspect, but stuff that you're going to need between now and any time in your real life. You may need some of this when you go to buy a house. You may need some of this when you are studying statistics for a master's degree. You never know. There's lots of different places where you're going to come through this stuff, but just so you know, this is the catalog description here. It just talks about some of the basics of what we're going to cover, and then in detail, we go through it later on. Like I said, it's 5 credits. The way that the class is broken up is you're going to earn 2 credits towards Math 95. Those credits are just pass, fail. If you reach a 72, you pass 95. If you don't reach a 72, you fail 95. And then in the 120 class, you're going to actually earn a letter grade. Okay, so that's the one that is going to go on your transcript. That's the one that counts towards your GPA. In fact, actually, both of them go on your transcript, but Math 120 will count towards graduation. The prerequisite credits, the 2 credits for Math 95, do not count for graduation. So the course materials that you're going to need is the textbook. You don't need the actual physical text. What you do need, what is required, is the online account for homework. We're going to go through how to purchase the online account for homework, but over here on the left-hand side, on the Canvas navigation bar, there's a My Lab and Mastering. This button right here is what you're going to click to access your online homework at any time. You can also click on this the first time to go through all of the information to register your course, register for the course. You have a calculator, and when we have face-to-face meetings, the calculator that you need to use is one of these 2 all the time. That's a little bit more difficult to enforce day to day as you're doing your material, but I highly recommend that you get this first one here. It's a TI-30XIIS. That's a mouthful. That's a really good calculator. It's not a graphing calculator for department doesn't want us to use wrapping calculators on assessments, but it does everything else. And you can get them on Amazon, I think, for between 15 and 20 bucks. So they're good. Another calculator you can get is pretty good is this Casio. The reason why I prefer the Texas Instruments is because that's the one that I'm going to be using in the lectures. So if you want to follow along like with the calculator usage, get that calculator. And there's a lot of work in this class that uses a calculator. Excuse me one second. Sorry, I need iced coffee. Okay. So there's a lot of work in this class that requires the use of a calculator. So that's untraditional. I imagine most of you came from high school backgrounds where maybe you weren't allowed to use a calculator. And if you're actually pursuing a bachelor's degree and you go through the math department, you take a series of courses that don't really allow for the use of a calculator. So in building this course, we decided that you guys are learning this material for a different reason. You guys are learning this material because we want you to be well prepared outside of class, in addition to, the math that you'll need for your degree. So in the real life, when you're, thinking about finances for your budget or thinking about probability of, insurance payouts, you're more likely going to use a calculator in real life than you're going to be, scribbling stuff down on a napkin. So we want you to be prepared and be useful at the calculator, be proficient with the calculator. So during the lectures, I'll be using that TI just to get you guys familiar with it. Okay, so get it. I recommend getting it this week as soon as possible so that once I start lectures, you're able to follow along with it nearby. Okay. By the way, I don't have my chat up while I'm sharing screen. So if you have like something that you want to interrupt me with, just turn on your audio. Okay. So every class should have this as well in the syllabus. Wicked important. This is the breakdown for the class in terms of, what's expected of you and how your grade is calculated. So again, you're given two different grades in this class. You're given a grade for the prep material, the Math 95 stuff. And then you're also given a letter grade for the Math 120 material, which is the actual book stuff. The breakdowns are here. Your online homework for Math 95 and Math 120 is going to come from the same place. So you're not going to necessarily have to like log into two separate places to do 95 and do 120. You'll log into this My Lab and Mastering over here on the left-hand side, and all the homework that's on that online component will be your prep material, which that grade is going to go towards your 20% and your 95. And then your Math 120 online homework, which is broken up into two components. The first component is a reading check. So the homework for each section is going to have like two separate homeworks. One of the homeworks is going to be a reading check, which is basically, did you read the material ahead of time? Yes or no? Can you answer these questions? It's 2 questions long and they are multiple choice. It's really just, do you know what this section is going to talk about before I actually talk about it? You are required, or I should say strongly recommended, to read the material before I actually do the online lecture and post it. So that's what the reading check is all about. Now, a lot of this material, like I said, you may have had exposure to before. So some of these reading checks you may be able to do without reading the material or just skimming through the material on the e-text that's provided to you. That homework or that portion of the online is worth 3% of your grade. And then the other part of the online homework is just actually called homework. And those are going to be due, wait, I should say after. I can't edit it. This homework will be assigned, but it'll be due after each class, okay? So the reading checks are due before class, and then you'll have the lecture that'll explain the material and go through examples, and then you'll do the actual homework. So the reading check is just like concepts. There's not going to be actually any work that you're going to have to do, any quote math. That will come during the homework average, okay, in the homework average portion of your grade. Each chapter will have a mini project. In fact, one of the chapters is really long, chapter 4, and it will have 2 mini projects in there. We have 9 chapters total, so you'll have a grand total of 10 mini projects for the entire semester. Usually in a face-to-face course, the mini projects are the place where you break up into groups. I hand these pieces of paper out to you and you work through applications of the chapter material that would be really important to know, like for a test or just in life. Okay, so that is a really important component of the class. This class was built to have a lot of interaction, and that obviously really sucks when you're doing it remotely. But I'm working on a way to group you together and have you submit those mini projects to me online. Okay, but as of now, you will just know that you'll have a mini project for each chapter at the end of each chapter, and it'll kind of just go over important concepts that you'll know. Okay. I'll likely be posting videos that discuss stuff about the mini projects so that you can kind of follow along with how to do those. You'll also have 2 tests in this class, in addition to the final exam. You'll have a test around the midterm. It'll cover the first 4 chapters of the semester, and then you'll have a test right before Thanksgiving that will cover the last 5 chapters of the semester. And then at the end, the second week of December, you will have your final exam. And your final exam will cover all 9 chapters. So it'll basically be a combination of these first 2 tests. Okay. You'll have a week after Thanksgiving to prepare for that final exam, which is study week for those of you who are new to the university. There's no material that's due during that time. All we do is spend time studying for the final. Those will be live sessions that I will have for you guys so you can answer, so I can answer your questions. Again, I'll also record live sessions for reviews before each one of these exams. Okay. You'll also have 2 projects. They will coincide with these exams, and there'll be lots more information to come out about those projects as time goes on. The cool thing about this class, though, is that the exams and the projects have equal weight. That's also by design in this class. Many of you may have had some poor experiences in math. Maybe you just had a really crappy teacher at some point, or just you feel like you just are not good at math. Frankly, there's no such thing as you being just bad at math. You probably had some experience in your life that made you not like math and make you shy away from math. And I hope to really break down some of those this semester so that you can really start appreciating math more. Once you start really liking it, you will really dive headfirst into it. And a lot of students I've had have said in the past, math was just not my thing before. I had some teachers that really made me feel stupid or just made it really hard to understand. And I always just kind of avoided it since then. For those of you who are not freshmen, those of you who are seniors, I feel like you may be in that boat. And then they come back to me and these students say, hey, now I feel like I can actually like learn stuff more when I'm in my day-to-day, when I read stuff that has statistics in it. Like I'm more interested to learn more about those statistics, and I find myself doing math and being more interested in it day to day. And so those are things that I take away the most from this class, is if I can get you to leave this class and be like, you know what, I learned a cool bunch of stuff in here, and now that's one less thing I got to worry about on my way to my degree. Cool. And like I said, getting interested in it is really an important part of being successful at it. And that's important no matter what your major is. For those of you who just recently chose your major, keep that in mind. If you're not interested in what you're doing, if you're not like ready to do it on the side when you're not asked to do it, then you should be looking into a different major, because it should be something that you just absolutely enjoy. If you immerse yourself in it and you love it, like they say, you'll never work a day in your life and you'll be really, really good at it. So just keep that in mind. That's how I feel about teaching. So there's some asterisks here about your reading check and your homework grade for the online stuff. You can, assuming that you've gotten an 80% or more on your online homework, I will drop your lowest exam score and replace it with your final exam score, assuming that your final is higher. So let's say exam 1 just is really hard and there's a lot of stuff on there that you just weren't really ready for, and now you're like, man, I just really nervous about my grade in this class. Don't freak out. Make sure that you're working hard and you're doing all of the online material that's asked of you. As long as you can bust out an 80%, you can crank out a good grade on the final, and it'll replace one of those 2 tests that you're taking intermittently, okay? Letter grades are pretty standard. I think I said 72 before. I'm a bad person. In 95, you need a 73, a C or better in Math 95 in order to earn a passing grade. In 120, you earn an actual letter grade, and the percent breakdown is given here. There's not any extra credit on the final grades or on the final. There's not any extra credit on pretty much anything in this class. But I do drop stuff, so that's always good, okay? Like I said, and you can see here, mini projects, I'll drop your lowest mini project score. Your reading checks, I'll drop your 2 lowest reading checks for the semester, and your homeworks, I'll drop your lowest 2 homeworks as well. So let's just say you have a week where it's just really tough. You got like a bunch of papers and math homework and all that due at the same, a mini project due at the same time. Just know that if one of them you're not able to give your best effort, I'm gonna throw that one away, okay? The learning outcomes are here. I'm not going to go into super great detail, although face-to-face usually I do. I like ramble and I can see people rolling their eyes, but I can't see you all, so I'm just going to assume that you would roll your eyes during this period of time. So here are the learning objectives for the course. I'll let you read through them. The course is broken up into 4 different themes, okay? The first theme covers chapter 1 and 2. Second theme covers chapter 3 and 4. At the end of theme 2, we will have an exam. That exam is going to be around the first week of October. I think it's the 9th, which is my daughter's birthday, ironically. And then theme 3 covers 5, 6, and 7. Theme 4 is going to cover 8 and 9. We will finish this the week before Thanksgiving and have an exam. Then the week of Thanksgiving, we're just going to go over exam 2, and it's a really loose week because people are traveling, or well, traditionally people are traveling. I don't know what it's going to be like this year, but we're not going to do a bunch of work the week of Thanksgiving. And then you come back the week after Thanksgiving, and we have our study week where we're just going to review for the final exam. Then the final will be that following week. What day, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'll probably give you a period of time. It won't be like you have to be here at this moment or you will fail. Most of the exams will have like an open window of time, like 4 to 12 hours at least, for you to be working on it. And if I can get approval, I'd like to make it like 24 hours for you to be working on there and do your test. Just like in taking lectures, you should be able to take those exams kind of at your leisure. You shouldn't have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning in Hawaii and take an exam if that's not what makes you the best test taker. So really quick, 1 and 2, chapter 1 and 2, which we're going to cover here next week, is logic and problem solving. And I will tell you right now, chapter 1 does not have a lot of quote unquote like math stuff in it. It's logic, which is the foundation of mathematics. So before we go into like a lot of the deep, like here's some crazy formula, or here's some probability and expectation from a casino in Las Vegas or whatever, we're going to go over like logic, like where do people, particularly in the media, like use these logical fallacies to try to deceive people in arguments. That kind of stuff we're going to start with, which freaks people out before we start talking because they're expecting like, some crazy mathematics on day 1, and they get like, here's an argument. And so just know that there's material in there as well. Like chapter 1, I'm actually going to supplement with some mathy stuff, just so that you feel like you're actually in a math course. Logic and the rules of mathematics go hand in hand. And so we'll talk about like the really early stuff of mathematics, like the operations, order of operations, things like that. We'll go into scientific notation in early chapter 2. We'll talk about like converting units, things like that. So this first 2 chapters, this first theme, there's not a lot of like really in-depth mathematics. It's prepping us for the in-depth mathematics that you're going to see in the other 3 themes. I won't go into the rest of that stuff. Again, I can sit here and talk about all this all day. Some class policies. You know what? I need to check Zoom because I just had a feeling that like somebody could possibly be in the, hold on one second. In my, no, actually, no. I had a feeling somebody was like in the waiting room, and I thought, oh man, what if somebody's been in the waiting room this whole time while I've been sharing my screen? So quick pause on the share screen. Nobody's in the window. I actually have a whole bunch of you here. This is amazing. I have like really good attendance for the first day. So I thank you all for being here and listening to my nonsense for the last 35 minutes. Let me go back, share screen real quick. And my dog is like snoring next to me. So if you hear this like heavy breathing in the background, just bear with me. That's the mutt. So class policies. You should be working in Web Campus and My Lab a lot, okay? The class is supposed to meet 4 times a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Do you have to be on at 7 o'clock Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday? No, but I would definitely make yourself a schedule in this first week that allows you to work at your best. And I would definitely consider being online at least 4 days a week to at least check Canvas, answer some discussion posts, read through the material, do a reading check, watch a lecture video. I mean, there's a number of things that we're going to be doing. And I'm going to try to break down Canvas into like little tiny chunks, like 3 or 4 day chunks of stuff to do, so that you know when you log in, okay, these are the stuff that I got to do for the next few days. Instead of just giving you, like in the past, I've given students just, here's theme 1, bam, and just thrown just a ton of information at them at once. And I kind of feel like that might get overwhelming. So I'll try to break it up into chunks, which makes it more important for you to be logging in every day. We talked already about the calculator. You should be using one of those two. You will have places where you'll be proctored virtually. And one of the things I will ask you to do is wave your calculator in the air like you just don't care and show me that you're using one of these two. I really don't want you to get used to using your phone as a calculator. I'll tell you why. Because there's going to be things in this class that we're going to have to do on the calculator that you're not going to be able to do easy on the phone. So, and when you take exams that are proctored, you're not going to be able to use your calculator. So, I mean, your phone as a calculator. So get used to using the right calculator right away. Use it for your homework, use it for the mini projects, use it on the exams. Academic integrity is here. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Honestly, when you cheat, you're really just cheating yourself. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You could find a way, people do every year in huge institutions and little community colleges and everywhere in between, to cheat to get ahead. And honestly, at some point, it ends up catching up to them. Lots of people get a degree, 4-year degree, and then they go into a field, and their first 6 months in the field, they go through 3 jobs because they get hired on and they have the degree, and then immediately people realize they have no idea what they're talking about because they cheated their whole way through, and now they can't get a real job because they just failed at their first 3 opportunities at showing people what they know what they're doing. And now they just wasted all that money getting a degree and something that they thought was going to be profitable, and they can't get a job because they have no idea what they're talking about. So don't cheat. It ends up screwing yourself later on. The homework is going to be through Pearson MyLab. You will click on this MyLab Mastering button over here to create an account. At that time, you can also purchase an access code if you did not already purchase an access code through the online bookstore. So when I sent the email out last night to tell you guys that we were having this Zoom meeting, one of the things that I mentioned there is that the bookstore has all of these different ways of purchasing the online access to this course. You technically only need access for this course for 15 weeks, which in the bookstore view is that very bottom one. I think it's about $115. That will get you access, online access for the class just until December. Assuming you pass this class, you won't need access for it any other time further, unless you want to go back and review this material, maybe as you're getting ready for grad school, or your discipline asks you to take like a behavioral science stat class or something like that. You may need stats in your major later and you want to go back and review like the stat material or something like that. Or if you're concerned you won't get through this class in 15 weeks, you can buy that second one, that middle option, and that gives you access for the life of the book. So, and this book's going to be around for a while. We just switched books last year. So that would give you online access and, of course, access to the e-text for, a couple of years. The top option, which I think was about $175 or so, gives you online access for those 2 years. And it also gives you a hard copy of the book or a paperback copy of the book. I personally don't think you need the not the e-text, but the physical text, because I think the e-text pretty much does it for me. But if you're somebody that likes to learn with a physical book, then that top option is the one for you. You purchase one of those 3 options and it'll come with access to this My Lab and Mastering. That's where all of your homework is going to be. When I'm all done here with all the other instruction, I'll probably share screen one last time and just show you what that online homework looks like just briefly. And then during that getting started theme in Canvas, you'll get to see a bunch more like what those views look like. The makeup policy is here as well. Oh, sorry. Makeup policy is here as well. I'll let you guys read through this. Makeup tests, obviously there's a handful of reasons that are excused. Official UNLV extracurricular activity, medical, religious, or military. You provide me with a note. I fill out this form through my department, and then we schedule something for you to retake it. If it's not one of those, then there's not really a reason for you to make it up. Because we're learning virtually and there's kind of this margin of error in time, I would usually give you guys some small window, to be turning things in. It's not like you have to turn in between 11:59 and 12:01 or something like that. You'll have some windows, so it gives you some flexibility. And I'm not like a pop quiz type person who's going to throw a quiz up there the day before it's due or anything like that. You'll always have some preparation, either through an announcement in your announcement section, or it'll be posted in the class schedule. Assessments and testing. Exam 1 and Exam 2 are going to be online. They're going to be proctored through this lockdown browser and monitor located in your web campus. You can see over here on the left-hand side, lockdown browser. You might want to click on this. There's actually some directions down here for using it. And in our first theme, there's directions for using it the first time. There's actually a quiz that doesn't count for anything, like a introduction to the class quiz that you're going to take. And it has you using this lockdown browser, and it also has you upload your Scratch work to me. And so it's a good way just for you to practice that stuff before you actually get to like an assessment that counts for credit, so that you don't get to something that counts and not know how to do it and freak out because you're afraid, oh wait, the lockdown browser isn't working or whatever. So you'll see here, we'll talk about it in just a minute in the first module. There's a practice quiz for you guys to take this week so that you can make sure that the lockdown monitor works, the lockdown browser works, and also the uploading your work, okay? So the exams are all gonna be split. Oh, check this out. We already did fix it. 3-day window for your exams. So good to go. I wasn't sure that I was gonna get unanimous approval on this, but it looks like I did, so that's awesome. You'll have a 3-day window for your exams, okay, which is awesome because your exams are going to be split into 2 parts. Remember, this is a 2-part class, right? I'm teaching you the prep material, and then I'm also teaching you like the actual material. And so because you're given a grade in the 95 portion of the course and also given a grade in the 120 portion, you'll have like a part A exam and a part B exam, okay? And then when you're done with each of those exams, you'll upload your homework using Google Drive. Okay. And like I said, during the first week of class, there'll be a practice quiz for you to practice that. Okay. The Respondus thing here, it has a lockdown browser and a little monitor also. So it like hijacks your webcam to make sure that you like stay on camera the whole time you're taking your exam, and you don't have like your cousin who's a math genius like jump on and do all your work for you. Okay. Just to let you know. You can read through this. There's also a handout for you guys to look through that just kind of shows you how this lockdown browser and webcam works. It's pretty straightforward though. You're just going to click on this lockdown browser and run through all the information before you take your exams, okay? Make sure you turn off all your devices like your phone. You don't want that around, or your tablet, second computer. You'll just have you, a beverage, some scratch paper, your calculator, okay? Let's see. Some cool webcam video tips, like when you have to be online, avoid wearing hats, okay? Have your tablet on a flat surface, unlike what I'm doing right now. I'm like rocking in a rocking chair, which is probably really annoying. can't see that right now because I'm sharing screen, but I'll fix it when you can see my face again. Let's see, what else? Well-lit room, all that good stuff. So please look through all this. If you have any questions, of course, when you're taking that first practice quiz, let me know, okay? This is obviously really new to me. I'm used to y'all being face-to-face with me so I can see you while you're taking your exam. So there's gonna be just kind of a margin of error there. We'll get used to it though, okay? There's tutoring available for you guys. There's physical tutoring. I'm not sure. Actually, I got to ask the department if they still have this available for you guys. I will say this, the Academic Success Center is available already. You can, their tutoring, I should say, it starts, I think, probably at the end of this week. Click on this link here through the syllabus, and you can walk through how to sign up for virtual tutoring, which is so cool because they had a bunch of really good tutors in the past. They have a location in the library. Obviously, with COVID, face-to-face tutoring is not necessarily the best option. So they very quickly set up a virtual tutoring capabilities. So if you guys have questions and you need somebody to be walking you through stuff day to day, that tutoring is available for you virtually. I definitely recommend you taking advantage of it if you feel like once you start getting access to the content, you're concerned about how it is. I mean, obviously it's different when you're face to face and you can ask and answer questions in real time. I'll do my best to answer those questions as fast as I can, and the ability to pause and play the videos is a benefit in my opinion, but it's different than having your teacher in front of you and having that real time stuff. So if you feel like once you start learning this material remotely, it's not going great, reach out to me, reach out to these tutors so that you have a plan in place to make you, maximize your schooling potential. The university policies are here. Public health directives is definitely something that you want to read, particularly for those of you who have face-to-face courses, face coverings, all that good stuff. All of my classes are remote right now, including the ones that I'm taking, luckily. But those of you who have those face-to-face classes, just make sure that you know all of the fine details so that you're, you're coordinating, you're in compliance. That's the word I was thinking of. You're in compliance with everything they want. See, I told you, recording this is terrible. All of these times that I'm messing up, those of you who are listening to this, just, man, sucks. Particularly those of you who are like gonna pause and rewind and listen to this again, man, even worse. Religious holiday policies is something still, even though we're not face-to-face, something that is still taken very seriously. If you have a reason that you're gonna miss class, these are excused. You let me know within the first 14 calendar days of the course, okay? And then we can make plans. Academic misconduct was so important, it came up here twice. If you need to audit a course, you just let me know, okay? Hopefully this isn't anybody in here, but I know that this remote learning is going to be trying for us all. So if it's something that you feel like is not going well deep into the class, we're talking months, you reach out to me, and I should say months, but within the first 6 weeks or so, 5-6 weeks, you feel like it's just not going so great, you reach out to me so we can talk about what your options are for continuing the course without penalizing your grade. Behave, right? Behave in the class, obviously, in chats, and when we're meeting live, respect everybody. Copyright is here. If you have a documented disability, reach out to the UNLV DRC, either through their website, I don't know why this hyperlink isn't available, or the telephone number that's listed here. Once you reach out to them, they have paperwork that you fill out, and then they reach out to me and tell me any of the accommodations that you may need for this course. If you've already reached out to the DRC, you'll probably be hearing from me by the end of the week, just to tell you, hey, I have your DRC form. Is in addition to what is asked here, is there anything else that you may need from me? Okay, and then make sure that we're all on the same page for what accommodations you may need so that we're all on equal playing field. Final exam is going to happen at the end of the semester. Date and time specified in the final exam schedule. So on my UNLV later on in the semester, usually by around Halloween, but sometimes earlier than that, they'll tell you when your final exam is going to be given in this course. and then we will have more information about how you will, how you'll be taking it remotely. Lots of academic misconduct stuff, some more apparently. Acceptable use of computing and IT resources policy is here as well. Incomplete grades, that's only if you've completed approximately 75% of the course and then something happens that makes it so that you're not able to complete the rest of the course. You take a grade of I, and then like over winter break or early in the spring, you can finish that last 25% of the course and earn an actual grade. These are for special circumstances where you were doing great and all of a sudden something happened where you just can't finish it. Okay, I wouldn't want you to go back and learn all of that again. So that's what the I grade is for. That is pretty much it. If you have Rebel Mail, questions for Rebel Mail, I should say Rebel Mail is the MyUNLV version of Gmail. You all have a Rebel Mail address. That is what you should communicate me through if you're not using the mail or inbox section over here in Canvas. Those are the two ways to best communicate with me. If you have questions about your grade, it needs to come from a UNLV authorized email address. So like your Rebel Mail is what you want to email me from. If you're used to emailing me from, some other Gmail or, some other, I don't even want to use one because it'll show you how old I am, but some other @whatever.com email address. It's cool, like if you just have quick questions, but if you have questions about official stuff like your grade, you got to email me through there. I mentioned tutoring and coaching. Sorry, I don't know why there's repeats. The Writing Center is available. There is a writing component to this course. It is math, and you're like, wait, I have to write? Yeah, you got to write. We have those two projects are going to be well-written, submitted projects at a college level. So if writing is something that is not your strong suit, the Writing Center is available. You can reach out to them, obviously through this phone number. COVID makes things a lot more difficult, but I imagine they have a virtual or remote way of kind of helping you with your papers. And so if you have questions on that kind of stuff, or even for your other courses, reach out to them. And that's pretty much it. Like I mentioned in the beginning, the course is two separate courses, but on any day, we could be learning from either course. So don't think, oh, I know the 95 or the prep material, I'm only going to show up for the 120 days. No, that's not necessarily how it works. It all blends together into one course. So you kind of need to be present and active online, nearly every day. I would think 4 days a week is going to do it for you. Okay. Let me stop sharing for a minute and check and make sure I don't have anybody in my, good. I don't have anybody in the waiting room again. So that's good news. And yeah, I'm chilling. You can see I'm like in this rocking chair right now. I'm like not even at my desk. I had to come and hide out because I had children still sleeping early this morning. So I came to another room. Let's see. Anybody have any questions before we go on? You can just throw them in the chat or you can unmute real quick. I didn't get to see anybody's face. I can't believe that. Well, no, I can't say that. I got to see a couple of your faces, but I didn't get to see very many faces either. So, but if you have any questions, hi. Man, honestly, I should be able to see every single one of your guys' face. If the person that had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning can show me their face, right? Then honestly, everybody should be able to show me their face, even if it's for 2 seconds. Real quick, let me see. Say hi, everybody. What's up? What's up?
Hi. I'm working.
I have a question.
I'm off.
Cool. Oh, Taylor, to answer your question, yes, when you buy the online textbook, it comes with the online access code for the course. So when you go onto Canvas and you click on that My Lab and Mastering, there'll be a place for you to create an account. And then it's going to ask you, do you have an online access code? If you purchased the one through the bookstore or you got the physical book with the code on the back, you just type it in right there. If you haven't purchased it yet, it'll send you to their website where you can purchase it right there. So you don't even have to go to the bookstore to do it. You can just go right to that My Lab and Mastering link in Canvas. And when you're registering your account for the first time, it'll send you through the process of buying that online access. If right now you don't have the funds, that's okay. There's a link at the very bottom when you're registering for access. It's like a little blue hyperlink and it says get access for 14 days. You click on that and it'll allow you to get access for 2 weeks. And then in that process, you can buy the online access code and then register for the course completely. Don't try to go in and do all the homework in 14 days. I have students that try that every year. And what happens is at the end of the 14 days, it deletes your account. So I won't be able to see your grade until you actually buy access, okay? So if you don't have the funds right now, I highly recommend just using that online access to get it, okay?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So because I can't really go to the bookstore, can I get it from like online? And
Yep.
if I go online, do I just type in Math 120 CX textbook
Yep.
or
You
Math
actually
95?
could probably, you don't even have to do that. You could go into Canvas, click on the My Lab and Mastering, and just follow
Okay.
all the prompts to register an account and buy access right there. It'll come with an
so I can-
e-textbook. And that
Oh,
e-textbook is the same for 95 as it is for 120. So you buy that access and that's everything you need for the class. It comes with the online e-text and that'll cover everything for 95 and 120. Okay?
oh, so I can just go through My Lab and Mastering on
Yep, you
Canvas
can go
to
right
buy
through
it?
My Lab and Mastery and get access that way. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Also, would you let us know when we have to meet up like this so I know when
Yes,
to wake
I will
up?
always tell you ahead of time, at least a week in advance when we have to do this. And like I said, we'll probably have like maybe 5 or 6 of these all year. Okay?
Okay, so like tomorrow, do I have to wake up this early?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to give you a list of things I want you to do between now and Friday, and you just get them done and you're good. Okay? Good? All right, cool. Usually, I will say this. Usually on the first day, everybody is super nervous about taking a math class. And I always teach in the morning and I always teach on Monday. So I'm always the first person that you guys see at UNLV. Just know that I'm going to be available. This first week is going to be really rough for everybody, okay? If you have questions, reach out. Don't sit around and be stressed and spend hours working on stuff and feel like you're getting nowhere. If you spend more than 15 or 20 minutes trying to do something and you're not sure, just reach out to me, okay? I'm available. Jason, to answer your question, you will have to take your exams on a laptop or computer that has a webcam, I think. I'm like 99% sure of that. You can try to go on Canvas and click on that. What the hell is it called? Lockdown browser. You can try to click on that button on the side that says lockdown browser on your phone and go through it. But I think there's certain like internet capabilities, like browser capabilities that you have to have. And I'm not sure if the phone is going to do that. So I don't want to say for sure that it's going to work. I would say to be safe, try to find a laptop that you can use on days that you got to take your exams and stuff. Okay. All right. So other stuff that I wanted to show you. All right. So I did my intro. I have a little notebook right here of things I need to check off. I did my intro. We went through the syllabus. I wanted to show you guys my math lab, and I want to show you the course schedule. Hold on one second. Let me get my math lab open real quick. Oh, I can't go in this way. Of course, right? I'm recording. It's all messed up. All right, let me go this way. Let me share my screen real quick. Hopefully this will work. All right, so we went through all the syllabus stuff. Like I mentioned before, on the left here, it's going to have all the important stuff. Well, most of the important stuff. The syllabus, if you need to look at it later on, is right here. Just click on this link right here, and it'll bring you right to this document that we just looked at. I also put in here a schedule. I'm going to pull this thing up real quick. Yes, I don't know. Why is this asking me that? Oh, it's in Excel, I guess, so it's making me download it. Sorry. Give me one second. Come on, Excel. There you go. 1 second. Okay. So this thing, which again is available in the syllabus link, cool, is a course schedule of the things that I want you guys to be doing on a day-to-day basis. So the good news is if you disappear off the face of the planet for 48 hours or so, and you're not sure what's supposed to happen next, you can always go back to this Excel spreadsheet and it'll pretty much show you what we're going to be covering on a day-to-day basis. I will say this, it is subject to change, particularly in the remote setting where things don't necessarily go as smoothly as planned. So it may be updated from time to time. If I do update it, I will post an announcement that just said, you know, the schedule's been updated to reflect whatever change. But it shows you pretty much day to day what you should be doing. Hey, here's today. Virtual meet and greet, that's what we're doing right now in the course syllabus. So we're gonna be done with today here in just a moment. Your math autobiography, these kinds of things that you're gonna do in the theme 0, which I'm gonna show you in just a minute, is gonna be what you're gonna work on this week. In blue here, it shows you your My Math Lab homework. You have 2 due dates a week from My Math Lab. My Math Lab will be due on Wednesdays and on Sundays at 11:59. So the stuff that we do on Monday and Tuesday, you have a due date on Wednesday. Then we do stuff on Thursday and Friday, and then you have a due date on Sunday, okay? You can see you don't have a lot of due date stuff for My Math Lab in the beginning. Your first due date stuff from My Math Lab is on Sunday. You'll have a Getting Started My Math Lab homework assignment that it just basically asks you if you know how to type numbers in the box and navigate through the screen. There's not any content in there at all. Then you'll have some other stuff that I want you to submit to me, like a math autobiography. You're going to tell me a little bit about yourself. And then also a practice quiz that's just going to basically show me that you can use the lockdown browser and the upload your work submission thing without any problems. Okay, so that's your stuff to do this week. And then the chapter 0 stuff is prep before we cover the actual stuff in the book way on Thursday, okay? Notice here on Wednesday, you have these RCs. These are the reading checks that I had talked about. You're asked to read through the material before I actually do the lecture. Skim through it, honestly. A brief skim is all you need to do. The reading checks are only 2 questions and they're multiple choice. They should not be taking you very long. You can attempt them more than once, but you cannot attempt them infinitely many times. So skim through the material or do a reading check, and if you really have no idea what you're talking about after that first attempt, then skim through the material, okay, and do the reading check. The homeworks will also be due after we've covered the material. Again, you'll have some homeworks due for chapter 0 on not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. That'll be the first time you actually submit like some math homework to me through My Math Lab, okay? And then Labor Day, no escuela. Awesome. I hope you guys are doing something that's non-school related for that 3-day weekend. Usually I tell students, I hope you're going on a trip or doing something, but I know we're not going on a trip unless we're doing it like really, really social distancing. Let's see, what else? So that is the course schedule. We'll look quickly at my lab and mastering. I don't know what it's going to show you. It's going to show me something totally different, actually. Wait. Actually, let me do this. My bad. Let me go back to this and click on student view. My canvas looks a little different than yours. This is what your canvas looks like. I'm in the student view now. So these are the things that you're going to see on your sidebar. Announcements, I'll usually put some stuff there as we go into a new chapter, or I have important things that have been dropped into Canvas, stuff like that. So check that randomly. You should have like some kind of notifications available that shows you every time I like post stuff. If you're getting a ton of notifications as your instructors are posting stuff, there's a way for you to like change all that stuff here in Canvas notification preferences, okay? So in the course intro, I have a bunch of different stuff for you guys to look at and do. Some assignments down here for you guys to do during this first week that really just kind of gets you used to using Canvas and like how my course is going to be run, okay? So yeah, we don't have any like important content stuff to do, but this first week is still really, really important. You want to run through all this stuff. A pre-course survey in here just to kind of tell me about yourself and things. Canvas notification preferences, like I said, is already there. So you can change that if you're getting blown up from your instructors already. This is the stuff that you need for the class. Just tells you, hey, have a notebook, have these things ready, course guidelines, how to upload the work, how to use the lockdown browser, okay? Your 4 assignments this week, your autobiography. I want to see you submit some handwriting to me. Verify that you're not going to cheat, I promise. Take that practice quiz that's just going to use your lockdown browser and your webcam. There's an actual question or two in there that you're going to have to do also. So just, you know, mess around with them. Don't stress out, but do your best. Actually try the problems on there, okay? But it's worth 1 point. You get 1 point no matter what, okay? And then make sure that you upload your work. Last thing, let me see what happens if I click on MyLab and Mastering in the student view. Pop-up blocker. Open MyLab and Mastering will come up here, and it'll get you to sign this user agreement, make your account. Where do I sign this thing? I don't know how far I'm going to be able to go through this as a like fake student, but we're going to walk through it for a second. Cool. Here we go. So it got me to here. If you've already used Pearson before for some reason, you may already have a username and password. You can try it, but chances are you'll have to create an account. So you'll go here, you'll click on create, you'll put in an email address, make a username and password. You won't need this username or password after that because you'll just click on MyLab and Mastering in Canvas and it'll automatically link you. But if you're not near Canvas, you can use this username and password to log in. And then you'll click on these things. Yes, oh, yeah, you probably won't have to click on one of these, but you'll agree and you may not want to create. After you go through this and you create an account, it's going to ask you how you want to get access for the course. Again, you already have a physical code. There'll be a place for you to type it in. If you want to buy one, there'll be a link that you can click on to go and buy the code. Or if you want to get access for 14 days, there'll be a link at the very bottom of the page to allow you to get temporary access. If you have questions about MyMathLab, I stopped sharing my screen, by the way. If you have other questions about MyMathLab thereafter, send me an email, okay? And I'll be glad to answer them. Do you guys have any other questions for me at this time? No?
It's just a lot for me to take in, that's all.
It's a ton to take in. The good news is I record this whole thing. So if you have any other questions, you can go back. I'm going to post this on Canvas later on today, so you guys can go back and read any of this stuff. And again, if you're not sure, I'm very approachable. So just reach out to me if you have questions, okay? And I hope the rest of your first day goes well. What's up? You got a question?
Yeah. So I created an account for the MyLab, and
Yeah.
it gave me like an option. I forgot what was it, but I basically had to pay for to use the course, I think. But I got in and I see my course, but how do I get the access code?
You don't even need it. If you're in and you can see the course, you're good. You're good, girl.
Okay.
You just follow the prompts through MyLab and you're good. So you don't even need the physical code. The only time you would need the physical code is if you bought it in the bookstore. There'll be a place for you to type it in. Otherwise, if you bought it online, you're good. You don't even need it. Okay? Any other?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, cool. Any other questions? Comments? Concerns? No? Here's my class.
Oh, I gotta go to work, so.
Yep, go.
Thank
See
you.
ya. Get out of here. If I'm ever live and you gotta go, just go.
Thank you.
Yep. I look forward to meeting you all, okay? So, like I said, I don't blame you for not wanting to be on camera at 7 o'clock in the morning for those of you who didn't want to be on camera. For those of you who are on camera, hey, I appreciate it. I'm used to seeing your happy faces like.
One question.
Yeah, go ahead, Josh.
Okay, so when we register, we use the UNLV email. It's kind of a stupid question, but I just want to make sure, right?
Preferably, whatever one you check, honestly. There won't be much correspondence through my lab when you register through it, but honestly, for all your math stuff or all your UNLV stuff, you should use your Rebel Mail just to be safe.
All right, cool.
Other questions? Who's in a classroom right now? Wait, somebody was in a classroom. Where'd you go? Oh, I swear I saw somebody that looked like they were in a classroom. Yes, you were in a classroom.
Me, is it me?
Yeah. Hi,
I'm in
Arlene.
I am in a preschool. So yes,
Oh,
I'm actually,
wonderful. You're a preschool teacher?
I'm a preschool director.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Day,
those of
so
you
it's
in
been fun.
education. Oh, I love you all already without even knowing you. Thank you for your service.
you.
You have no idea.
No.
I have, like I said, I have one that's turning 3 and one that's 1. And so I have more appreciation for preschool teachers than I ever had before.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. So it was a pleasure meeting you all, or at least those of you who I got to physically see. And again, reach out to me if you have questions about this course or anything with UNLV thereafter, okay? I know that you're going to get a lot of information from a lot of people today and this week, and it can be overwhelming. Just know that you have a resource available, okay?
Quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if you already went over this.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm really just trying to get it all in. So for
Yep.
that math autobiography, you want it written, not typed?
Yeah, just follow all the prompts. You click on the link in Canvas, it's going to tell you all what you need to do, okay?
All right.
And yeah, just a little about yourself. There's one of them, I think it's the autobiography, but it might be the quiz. But one of them has you submitting some stuff, so I get to see your handwriting too, for handwriting samples, for scratch work later on. Okay?
Mhm.
Cool. All right. If you don't have any other questions, if you have questions, you can stick around. If you don't have questions, you can jump off. But like I said, it's great meeting you all, and I look forward to a really good semester with you guys, okay?
Cool.
Bye-bye.
I have
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Actually, yeah. Hi.
Hi.
I have a few questions actually. It might be